Navigate to DiceID Platform Console at console-uat.diceid.com. Scan the QR code from your DiceID app. If you have the login credentials, you will be asked to submit the same for authentication. Once submitted, the login credentials will be verified and you will be redirected to the dashboard page of your organization to access credential issuance and verification functionality. For issuing credentials in batch mode using DiceID Platform Console, navigate to the Batch Issuance option from the left-hand menu. One of the prerequisites to issuing a credential is creation of a schema which represents the structure of the credential and gets registered on blockchain. You should have 2 schemas already created for you with a standardized structure based on which you can start issuing credentials. The 2 templates which we have currently available are DiceID Community Pass, which represents that a user is member of the DiceID ecosystem, and DiceID Skill Schema, which can be used to issue skill-based credentials. If you do not see any predefined schema for your organization, then you can create schema from existing template, which allows you to pick the template from a list of platform-defined schema templates. When you create or use a schema for issuing a credential that requires a certificate link to be included in it, then you should create a certificate template. To create a certificate template, use the left-hand menu option and navigate to Certificate Templates. Click on Create Certificate Template and specify the name of the template. Then upload a blank certificate template, which should be an image file with an extension of PNG, SVG, or JPEG and of size no more than 150 kilobytes. You can place the verification QR code on the certificate by using the certificate designer that allows you to move and resize the QR code. This QR code represents the link on which the certificate will be hosted and can be used for offline verification. Next step is to select the schema for which this certificate needs to be used and list the attributes. Select the attributes which need to be displayed on the certificate. In this example, we have selected name, skill name and date of certification as the 3 attributes which need to be dynamically populated on the blank template based on the credential data. Specify the position and size of skill name attribute on the certificate by placing it at the proper position and resizing it as required. You can select the font style, size, and color of the skill name attribute and save it. Specify the position and size of date of issue attribute on the certificate by placing it at the proper position and resizing it as required. You can select the font style, size, and color of the date attribute and save it. Specify the position and size of name attribute on the certificate by placing it at the proper position and resizing it as required. You can select the font style, size, and color of the name attribute and save it. Once all attributes positioning is completed, you can go ahead and create the certificate template. In the certificate details page, you can preview the certificate to get an idea of how a dynamically generated certificate will look. Navigate to Batch Issuance page from the left-hand menu and download the sample CSV file based on the mode of communication and the schema based on credentials need to be issued. The downloaded file will contain columns names that match the attributes of the schema you selected. Next step is to populate the CSV with the credentials data. Please make sure to enter data that matches the data type defined in the schema for each attribute. For example, email and phone data types require a specific format. If the data type selected is date, then the format is dd-mmm-yyyy. Once your credential data CSV is ready, then upload it for processing by navigating to the Upload Data File tab. You can enter any text in the alias name, which will help you remember which batch is being processed. Specify the medium using which the user needs to be notified that they have been issued a credential. Email and SMS notification are two modes available. Here we will specify the email and select an email template so the user gets the relevant invite email. Default email template will be used if no specific template is created and selected. Auto issuance needs to be set up by specifying the schema to be used for credential issuance. Make sure to select the same schema that you used while downloading the sample CSV file. In this example, we are using a schema that requires certificate, so please select the certificate template you created previously for this schema. Then upload the CSV with the credential data and you will be notified that the batch file is being processed. Please note that the size limit of a CSV file that can be uploaded is 2 megabytes. The result of the batch file processing can be viewed in the Upload History tab. All the batches processed so far are displayed in a chronological order. The batch CSV file that you just uploaded will be displayed on the top with the status message. If the batch got processed successfully, then the status will be completed. If there were validation errors, then the status can be error or partial error. Please note that credential issuance is a long-running process which comprises of sending email or SMS notification to the end user, and the status will change only when the user scans the QR code from their Dice ID app. If it is a large batch, then the process of validating each record and sending email/SMS notification can also take some time. You can download the log file to view the detailed status of each and every credential record in a particular batch. Now let's check the email notification that user would have received and which contains the steps to obtain the credentials. By scanning the QR code in the email from Dice ID app, the credentials get processed and downloaded in the Dice ID app. Once downloaded, the credentials details page opens, which contains the credential attributes and values. Since this credential contains a certificate, there is an option to download it as PDF and view the certificate by clicking the link in Cred URL attribute. Once the user accepts their credential by scanning the QR code in their email via Dice ID app, then the relevant notifications will be available in Dice ID Platform Console and the credentials will be visible in the Issued tab. This concludes this tutorial on batch issuance of credentials. Please reach out to Dice ID team for any queries.